Welcome to Criminal Giants, a comedic true crime watch-along podcast where we watch Criminal Minds, yes, all 15 seasons, and discuss the true crime that can be linked, however indirectly, to the episode. We're your hosts, Stacy Johnson and Veronica Shea, and this week we're joined by Parnell Piano and discussing Season 1, Episode 7, The Fox. So, your last name is actually Piano.
It is actually Piano.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe it's a stage name, maybe I should, but...
No, yeah. Born with piano. It's actually on my mother's side.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Do you play?
I do. I'm actually looking at my childhood piano right now. It's
That's
here.
fantastic.
So, yeah.
Stacey, what's on your hand?
My tiny hands. I forgot that I had them over here. I used to use them when I was stressed out at work because this was kind of where I would work from home. And so when I'd be pissed or stressed out, I'd put them on and just be like,
yep,
and not be stressed.
Oh my God. I just saw them. I was like, why is this happening?
Tiny hands.
I love them.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Don't encourage her, Parnell.
Yes, encourage me. Let's be best friends, Parnell.
Yeah. Done.
Oh God. You don't want this. Believe me,
Done.
you can't get rid of her.
You want this?
I think they are what shade is that? That's like a shade of green? Are
It's
they
not. Yeah, they're like, I don't know. It was the only ones they had, and I was going to get them regardless of whether they matched because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. I like too how they're facing us. You have
How are
them
hands supposed to face? Oh.
yourself.
Oh. I don't know how this works.
Yeah, I think they're on opposite of.
Oh, they are.
You gotta.
Anyways.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Okay, so episode 7 is called The Fox. We learn that Hotch has a baby. This is about family annihilators. Someone's got to have a new family. 2 families at the by the beginning, 2 families are dead. They're made to look like murder-suicides. The unsub or unknown subject, he has organized control and planning with quick disorganized kills. We discover Reed is going to have his first solo interview of a suspect. We're learning a lot about Reed as a character in the last episode. He had failed his gun recertification exam. So he's very young, very new, but very bright, right? That's Reed's whole thing. My favorite part about that though is that they were like, he hasn't talked to anybody since he's been arrested. And Reed just walks in and the guy is like, let me tell you all these things. Let me talk about my feelings. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, okay, good job, Reed. You broke him.
Yeah. It's the looks. It's the incredibly good looks.
Yeah, that's right. It's that jawline.
Yeah, it is.
She'll tell you anything. Those cheekbones. Ooh. So we find out that none of the victims had defensive wounds or ligature marks. They were all stabbed to death with the exception of the husbands who were shot in the head. The wedding rings were all taken as trophies. And then Gideon, in his most dramatic self ever, starts just screaming at one point, and we find out that the neighbors could hear if someone was in distress. But I feel like there was maybe a better way to find that out.
Right, like they should have warned people.
Warned anybody, said anything.
Yeah.
But so obviously there was no calling out when this unsub was in the house. We learned that one of the families was in major debt, but then they were also going to Disney World. I don't know. But we find out that it is this therapist guy whose marriage had collapsed, and he was using his position to find out when these families who were seeing him were going on vacation and then taking that time to infiltrate their homes and murder them because they wouldn't be discovered for a while, right? They wouldn't be missed. So that is episode 7 in a nutshell.
I actually did. You brought up the screaming thing. I had real qualms with it, actually. I ended up watching the episode when you guys had sent it, and I watched it again this morning, and I was like, dude, he did that. He just went, started screaming. Imagine you see the lights turn on and the family's like, what's happening? And they call the police, and the police are like, oh, what's going on? And they call him. He's like, it's just me, guys. It's just me. It's
like, oh yeah, we got the FBI over there. Is there screaming? Yeah, that's Gideon. Yeah, don't worry about it.
No bigs.
Crazy cat.
What? Yeah. I used to really like Gideon in the beginning. Again, 2005, you're like, yeah, Gideon. I really hate him. The more I watch it or rewatch it and the older I get, I'm like, dude, you suck. Give me Rossi. When does Rossi hit the scene? Because this man is unhinged. Gideon is really toxic. We talk a lot about toxic masculinity, like Hotch doesn't show emotion and Derek is always bullying Reed, but like Gideon is kind of the most toxic of everybody, and he just goes off and does whatever, and you have to just fall in line because it's Gideon. I'm like,
right.
You suck, dude. Get out.
Yeah, what's that thing? Right before he starts screaming and they're kind of doing the walkthrough, Derek's he's on his knees looking at the dog door and he's like, oh, but he says something and Gideon does that weird thing. He's like, but I have a gun to your head. And you're like, what? Like,
he was like, well, they had a big dog, or yeah, what was, or you're a big guy, but now I have a gun to your head. Does it matter?
Yes. Yeah. The screams don't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you're so dramatic. He's like overly dramatic. And also not the leader. Like, Hotch is the leader of the team, and Gideon just comes in and does fuck all whatever. Well, like, literally just got off of psych leave because of Hotch. Like, can you calm it down? Like, slow your roll, dude. You're just... I don't know. I really don't like him. I can't wait for him to leave.
Spoiler!
Oh.
Spoilers! I'm so sorry. We do.
Spoiler!
Yeah.
So sorry. This is a bit of a spoiler podcast, quite frankly. We talk a lot about future episodes. But have you watched the show before? Or
I've
is
only
this
watched scattered episodes. So this is kind of the first one I actually like sat down and I was like, oh, these are the characters. This is what's happening. Yeah. I actually have no real background of
who they all are.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Our last episode, our guest had never seen an episode, and she got, to be fair, not a good episode. And they also didn't use anyone's names until the end. She was like, I don't know who anyone was or what was happening. I was like,
doing stuff, saying stuff.
I was like, crap.
I feel like that's me, though.
That's just you in everyday life, Stacy.
Just like, doing stuff, saying stuff, no plans. I just show up, see what happens.
Amazing. Yeah. But our favorite character, obviously, is Derek Morgan, Shemar Moore. So much so that we do objectify him on this show. It's what the people want. I think it's going to heal America.
Agreed.
I think everyone can get behind Shemar Moore and love him.
Shemar Moore, more than what's his name? More than
Okay, I love MGG so much. So especially when his hair gets better. Because right now it's like the behind the ears, like, they don't want him to be sexy, so they're like, really nerdy him up. And then there's one episode in like season 3, he comes in with this like boy band curl thing. They let it go, and you're like, I'm sorry, who is this Burberry model, Matthew Gray Gubler? Fucking hell. No, I do love Reed. I love Reed, I love Morgan, and I love Garcia.
If you had to pick just one to keep forever, which would you pick?
What happens to the other people?
They die.
They die?
They no longer exist.
Wait, who was the last person that you said? Garcia,
the blonde one.
The blonde tech.
Mm-hmm. But one to die. Or, I mean, one to live, the rest to die.
The rest to die. And I was just like, that's Stacy's rules. Good God.
Yeah, it's how I live. Dang. Fast and loose.
What a whore. Fast and loose.
Now I'm blushing.
Now we all know.
Oh, I'm embarrassed. I need my tiny hands.
One to die or two to die. I don't like that they die, Stacy.
Well, you have to pick. Those are the rules.
Them's the rules. Okay, well, characters or humans?
I don't know. I didn't really think about this all the way, but like,
you're making the rules.
Characters. Okay.
Then I would choose Reed to live because I don't think Garcia could survive in a world without Derek, and I don't think Derek could survive in a world without Garcia.
It's very poetic.
So they should die together. You don't know this yet, Parnell, but they become besties, and they have the most beautiful little relationship.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I was going to say Reed too, but just because I'm legit looking at his like profile right now, and God, he is so good looking.
He's so good looking.
Oh
he's a Burberry model. He's a model. Like, he's a model, actor, director, man.
It's disgusting. It actually, I gotta change the page here. There we go. Dude, that was a lot.
Should we change it to the Gimme More segment where we objectify Matthew Gray Gubler in this?
Yes.
Is that what we're doing? No Shemar today? Is it going to be
objectify them both? Let's do them both. Because Shemar Moore is also
that, and we don't have a cool play on words for Matthew Gray Gubler.
Gimme
Gray Gubes.
Gimme Gubes.
Gimme Gubes.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either, but that's where we're at.
Gimme Gubes?
I'm uncomfortable. I hate it. But it's where we're at.
You did
said it. Yeah.
All right.
That's
Here
a
he
good
is. In season 1. This is his season 1 look. I had to look specifically for season 1. Not my favorite Reed look.
Yeah, not a faves. It's a little too I just got out of like college prep school vibes for me. I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
She's only doing that, Parnell, because you wanted this segment.
Stacey, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I like to keep it real.
Dude, I already love this segment, and I love that this picture is so controversial because the first one I saw, I was like, great, this is great. And now you send this, and I'm like, man, this guy looks like he's gonna do bad things. This is a killer right here. This is not, I would give it a 1. I'm sorry.
Yes, I would give it a 1 too.
This one's terrible.
You guys find fucking, it has to be season 1.
No, this is a good one. No,
Yeah,
this
you know
is a
what
good one.
this is Freddy Krueger before all the things. That's what he looks like to me.
God,
Here with the sweater and
wrong.
I know, I didn't help him with the sweater. But you get like, oh, here's his boy band hair. Oh my God, look at this.
Oh yeah.
He is very attractive with his little curls.
Agreed.
But, oh, look at this one.
Cute.
Oh, that's a great look.
That's
too.
a cute one. Okay,
Yeah.
that deserves a 3 point.
But that's not him in season 1. That's him in season whatever.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I liked long haired Reed.
Did you?
Know,
the real long look?
Yeah, it looked like he had a bob.
Yeah, he had a lot of curls.
A long bob.
I didn't like that look.
Didn't like that look. Yeah.
No. It was too
He's got
much.
good, just natural hair. It just it falls so nicely. I feel like he doesn't use like a lot of product, but you know, it just works.
Between the curls and the cheekbones, it's like.
How tall is he? Is he?
He's like 6'2".
6'2".
Is that true?
I pulled that. I don't know. I just guessed.
120 pounds or something? Or?
Probably like 150. Let me go see if they have his stats. I worked at Michael's when I first moved out here, the one in Burbank. And he came in because it was Halloween, and that is his season. And we were talking about, because he still had his Nevada driver's license. And so we talked about both being from Nevada. And he's very sweet. And I remember him being tall.
You're just dropping this on us that you met him? You met the man himself?
I met him. Yeah. The man, the myth, the legend. Oh, he's 6'1". I was very close.
I knew this, but I'm still upset about it.
He's 6'1". Wow. Shemar Moore is 6'1". I don't believe that.
That's more of like a 5'11" type moment.
Thomas Gibson is 6'2".
All right, well, Shemar.
Gimme more.
So in this photo of Shemar's, he's giving us laid back in pink. He's giving us sitting at the desk, relaxation vibes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes.
What do we think about... My images get worse and worse as they go.
I love this. Did you crop this, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this crop too.
Thank you. What I do is I take a photo of my laptop under blankets so there's no reflection, because you can't screenshot off of Hulu. And then I send the ones that aren't moving to Stacy, and she picks her favorites. And then I hold down, and so it cuts him out.
Yeah.
And then that's how we get our very good quality photos of Shemar.
Okay, for being a picture of the screen that you took, like without a screenshot, that is actually a really good picture.
Thank you.
Now that I know,
I'm zeroing in on my skill. I think this is it.
Based on this, I think I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Out of 5 helpings, I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Stacey,
no, that's a lie. A 4.
A 4.
Yeah, for
she
Shemar.
Likes to do halves. It's annoying.
Sometimes you just want to full, but you want extra.
I guess raised it from a 3.5, dropped it from a 5, from a perfect.
You know, I just kind of feel bad because the last episode I only gave him a 1, so.
That was undeserved too. Like mine might have been high because I gave him a 3, but like I don't think a 1 was deserved.
So I feel bad. I gotta make his average go a little higher now.
I'm gonna give him 3 helpings because we're back into a tie, which we're really trying to get him out of those. It's not purple, which I appreciate. but it's not relaxed. Like he's trying to relax and that tie is like restraining him. Although you can pull a tie. So no, I'll give it 4 too. I'll do 4. I'll give him 4 helpings.
Okay. Hit us with Parnell.
I was going to go 3, but I want to go 4 so bad. I want.
You can go 3.
You know, it's the phone. What is that? Pager.
Yep.
Watch combo. That really that gets me going. I like seeing that. That's old school cool right there.
It's not bad, you know.
Yeah. And then the pink on pink is just I'm
digging it.
It's pleasing, right? It's good. It's
right?
Yeah, with the textured tie as well. So yeah, I think it's a solid look. I really like it.
Okay,
I like it as well.
Yeah, I met Matthew at Michael's.
Oh,
he was very sweet.
So he lives
around.
In the area.
Yeah. I want to say he now lives in Pasadena, but that might be very wrong. Oh God, a lot of celebrities would come in, like to the Burbank one, I guess because it's closest to like Beverly Hills and stuff. But the guy who I like lost my, like it made my knees go weak and I like fell into the counter. I have to look up his name because I always forget.
I feel like I'm going to giggle at this one. I'm stressed.
You're going to be like, who? Is Tim DeKay.
Who's Tim DeKay?
So from White Collar. Do you remember that show?
I do.
Not Matt Balmer, the FBI agent. But in person, he was like radiating beauty. Like just, he glowed. And I was just like, oh. And I just like, my knees went weak. Ooh. And he was there getting art supplies for his 2nd grader, I think, at the time, for some projects.
That's adorable.
What a guy.
Oh, and he's a sweetheart. When was this? This was recently too?
No, it was at Michael. Again, my term at Michael's, which was 2012.
Okay. Yeah.
So she's grown now. How weird.
He's good in a suit. Love that.
Yeah. Love a man in a suit. Books, unless it's Derek Morgan, we would like him out of the suit into his cash gear, please.
Cash
magash.
I don't know why my brain misfired for a second.
Wait. Misfired?
Yeah, I wanted to say words, but they didn't come out.
It's good for a podcast, right? Yeah. This is good. We're doing good.
We're doing great.
You know, I had to do a little research before of Shemar Moore, like current, because I didn't realize he's like 53. I think I saw 53 now.
Yeah.
And I watched this thing on him working out. Oh my gosh, the body on this guy for,
he is 53. So sexy.
Oh, dude.
I'm going to look crusty when I'm 53. I just know it.
And he's doing it all. He's going out there. He's hitting the bag. He's doing the sledgehammer. And I was like, do this all day. Just make this a show. You don't need SWAT or whatever it is you're doing.
No,
but Shemar is so hot. But I feel like I've really zeroed in on my age demographic of men, and it's in their 50s.
It's 50s, that's it?
It's the 50s. Because the British comedian I'm obsessed with, in love with, is 55 now. Yeah, they're all like all these dudes that I'm like, oh, I'm into him. Oh, I like him. They're like 53, 51, 52. And I'm like, what does this say about me?
It's a sweet spot for you.
Yeah. Come on, Shemar. 53. Yeah. Yes. Finally at the age where I can appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a nice sweet spot though. At least it's not like you're not pulling a Leo kind of,
No, I'm not trying to get 20-year-old. Oh my God, first of all, what do you do with a 20-year-old?
Dude.
Like, what do you even say to them? I have to so one of my dear friends is 24 now, and I have to text her and I'm like, what does this mean? Is this slang? I have to be like, what is this?
What does this mean? What does this do?
What are the young people saying? I feel so old.
The slang is just mid. Have you guys heard this word mid?
No. What is that?
It's the same as saying like that's average. Like it's not good. It's not bad. It's mid. Like, that's the new. Oh,
so it's fine. It's mid.
It's fine.
Yeah, just say fine. Just say it's fine.
No, it's so mid.
Yeah.
I don't think this.
I hate it. It's mid.
It's gross. It's
It's less than mid. Whatever less than mid is like what mid is, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't
Not a
like
fan.
it. Not a fan. Okay, so we've made a turn. Okay, so we hit Shemar. We did our first ever Gimme Gubes, which we're gonna keep workshopping for that.
Email us name ideas.
Yes,
Yeah.
send in name ideas. And then, okay, so we all watched the episode. Parnell, you were saying you had questions about the episode? You wanted to talk about the episode specifically?
Oh, I actually had just questions on the episode in relationship to our guy,
Oh, great.
Onoprienko, but
Great.
I think we're going to probably get into that. So
Yeah,
I'll let
let's
you guys
do it.
take the wheel
Let's do
here.
it.
Anatoly Onoprienko is insane. He is crazy. I wouldn't say that he's legally insane, but he's psycho. So he was born in the Soviet Ukraine behind the Iron Curtain. And what was so wild, he was the youngest of two brothers. And when his mom died, he was sent to an orphanage, but his brother stayed with his dad. Right, which I really do think where all of this like family hatred comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he killed... Oh, that's the one number I didn't fucking write down.
Or he confessed to killing 52 people.
He confessed to 52 people. And his first thing, like he like went out and killed a deer, felt bad about that, and then was like, fuck that, I'm going to kill people. And his first crime was to kill a family of 8 people. Like, talk about 0 to 100. Like, that's not even trial and error. That's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
So he killed a family of 8. He starts with the father, which obviously is very different than the episode where he ends with the dad.
Mm-hmm.
But he starts with the dad in all of these. He killed a family as when they were sleeping in their car. He killed multiple families in their homes and then would light the homes on fire to try to get rid of evidence, which we actually touched on a little bit in our arsonist episode, that a lot of times, you know, they'll set fires to get rid of evidence. And he just kept saying that he heard voices in his head telling him to do these like horrifically violent things.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't believe that in any sense of the word, because later he would be like, but you should have just killed me, because if I ever get out, I'm going to kill again. And this is how I'm going to do it. And this is my plan. It's like, you don't plan if voices are telling you to do things. You do what the voices are saying. You're like not preemptively making your plan.
Right.
So that's kind of Onoprienko. He had a lot of victims. He is a family annihilator, which are a very interesting subset of serial killers, I think. They are mostly men who kill their whole family and then usually kill themselves, is what we do see. And it's usually some like collapse in the dad's life that triggers it, which is so interesting because these aren't people who have any like criminal offenses against them. A lot of murderers will have other charges already, like they've already been through the system, or they'll, you know, have like mental health issues, but the mental health system knows about them. And a lot of times family annihilators just one day pick up a gun and kill their whole family. It's very wild, like with no preemptive anything. Women family annihilators tend to, okay, well, what they say is like if a woman's going to kill their kids, they're usually infants. And if a man is going to kill their kids, they're usually older, like 3 and up, which is very strange. But that's that's the thing. Yeah, so there was the study done in the UK where they looked at a bunch of family annihilators, and 59 out of 71 of them were male. 55% were in their 30s. I was like, that's not nothing. Like 30-year-olds just decide to kill their families one day. Is wild. Are you guys thinking of having a family, Parnell? You and your wife?
Yeah, we're very much considering, and I'm just in that sweet spot right there.
Drama.
So we're gonna keep an eye out. Oh my God. Okay, sorry, I like went off Onoprienko already. Okay, so what I actually think is most interesting about Onoprienko is that he didn't attack his own family. Usually family annihilators kill their own families. He killed other people's families that were still very much together, right? So I think being from a broken home, that is something to look at. He always said that he had anger that he wasn't chosen to stay with his dad.
Oh yeah, because he got put into the orphanage.
Yeah, because he got put into the orphanage, but that his trial, this is a funny thing, was delayed because in Ukraine, the defendant has to read all the evidence that's being brought against them. And he had so much evidence and took such a long time, just like leisurely thumbing through, that like it delayed the trial. And then also the courts are responsible for the travel of all of the witnesses coming. And he had like over 400 witnesses and they couldn't afford it. So they had to like put out a GoFundMe for basically for this like trial. Like what? So wild. Can't they just like send in a deposition or something?
Imagine being the guy having to read all that out loud to the court and just seeing that book and being like, oh my God, this is going to take forever.
Right.
Like,
and then having to read to your own kid, frickin' whatever, Dr. Seuss later. That, hey, like, I've been reading all day, man.
I just want a break.
Yeah.
He's like, let's double duty this, and just starts reading the evidence to his child.
Reading the evidence to his kid.
Sweet dreams. I don't know. I'm going to be a really good mom.
Brutal. I'm sorry. I keep thinking about this like age range thing, and I didn't think of that before, and kind of his age as well. That is a very strange kind of, I don't know if it's would you call it a coincidence or like a
trend?
Stat? Just trend?
Stat.
Yeah. Especially with that kind of age range. What, he was born 59, I think it says here. So he's a boomer category. I wonder if that like, all right, not to say I hope there's more family annihilators in the future, but you know, what that trend will be in the future, if there's like, you know, or if it's very specific to kind of that generation or what that means.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like I see what you're saying. Like, I wonder if it's like a cultural thing. Like,
right.
The boomers believed like you get married, you have a family, X, Y, and Z by this age. And if you don't have that by X, Y, and Z, what does that do to your mental stability and things like that? Also, too, I feel like he was also probably pretty fucked up beforehand. So
yeah, he wasn't great. Oh yeah, he had also mentioned that like 7, and I don't know if this is true because this is a quote from him, and I did no research into it, that 70% of orphans in the Ukraine become murderers or do murder or do crime. I was like, what? I'm like, do you know that, or are you just saying that? Like, I don't, that was super weird. That can't be true, but that's what he said.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah. So let's go back to family annihilators. So we learned that there are 4 types of family annihilators. There's the self-righteous annihilator that holds the mom responsible for the breakdown of the family, whatever, you know. So we see that with like a woman who wants a divorce, takes the kids, he kills everyone, self-righteous. Or if she cheated, you know, anything that could be pertained to the woman's fault. Then we have the disappointed annihilator, who believes that the family has let them down in some way, which I can't imagine what kind of disappointment you'd have to feel for that kind of a response. We have the anomic annihilator, who sees the family as a symbol of their own economic success. But let's say they get fired from their job, or, you know, big drop in the market or whatever, they go bankrupt. They no longer view the family in that same way, so they have to get rid of them. And then the paranoid annihilator, who wants to protect their family as a unit from a perceived threat. And so we see this when Child Protective Services is going to step in and break up the family, or on the extreme case, if someone's a paranoid schizophrenic and they believe aliens are going to come and invade, so they kill their family as like a mercy killing. That is a paranoid annihilator.
That would be the story of Medea in Greek mythology.
There you go.
Thank you.
Stacey's like, I'm out.
I'm smart sometimes.
So we see a lot of the self-righteous annihilator and the anomic annihilator, both of which are closely tied to the idea of gender roles and the man's place in the family. So in this episode, we had a self-righteous annihilator who his wife left with the kids, and he no longer had access to them, and then decided to kill happy families. But like one of them, the wife was spending money that the husband didn't have, and so he killed the whole family. I forget what the second. So like there was always an excuse of something of like he was really protecting them in the end of the family breaking up. So I guess he could also be paranoid, but he was just so meticulous that I don't feel like paranoid was a thing. He also didn't try to kill himself, which makes him very different from annihilators, where 81% of them try to kill themselves. But
what was his background as well. I can't remember it now, and I don't know. He was their
he was their therapist.
He worked with the families.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
He was their therapist.
I thought he was like their doctor or something, but therapist. That makes more sense because his secretary, his secretary, right, had the files as well, or the other therapist.
That was like I think she was like the lead therapist person.
Okay, yeah, she was not, but yeah,
secretary. What? Because she was a woman and had files. How dare you? Boss's file too. Okay, the women can be bosses.
I don't want to say the wrong thing here.
Yeah, so he was able to. So a lot of them were there for family therapy or marriage counseling. We learned from the strangely oversharing co-worker of one of the women who just kept talking at them. I don't know if you guys remember her. It was like, was she a black woman? Pacific Islander woman?
Maybe.
I'm going to cut that part out. That makes me sound racist. But she was of color. A person of color.
She was one of the brown ones.
She was one of the brown ones. She was. And I remember, this is all getting cut, but I'm going to tell you why I remember that, because she was talking about how concealer only covers so much. And then I was thinking about how black women must not bruise it, like you can't see it as easily. But then, oh my God, if you can see it, how hard did they get hit? That was literally my entire thought process in this scene. Because like if I bruise, I'm like green immediately. Like immediately.
I bruise very easily. I'm low on iron. Why is that long? Why is that an awkward pause? Why was there an awkward pause? That's a very normal thing to say.
That's not a normal thing to say, Stacy. It's a normal thing to have happening, but like usually you're like, oh, I bruise really easily. Bruise like a peach. And that's usually the end of it.
Yeah. You know, I live my life every day. I don't know.
Why don't you take supplements?
I do.
Anyway.
It was very specific. It was very specific. And I was watching Veronica's reaction.
Facial journey.
It's chaos.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Parnell. This is it. But yeah, so that's like the basic family annihilator.
Yeah, it's it made me think a lot of like kids. There have been a few like really big cases in which like children have annihilated their families. Like there was that one kid, and I remember he's in like basketball shorts and like a white tee, and there's that like really famous picture of him, and he like shot his family.
Oh, he's in Kids Behind Bars.
Yeah.
He should never be let out.
No, he terrifies
He should never be let out. We talked about this show last week called Kids Behind Bars, Life or Parole. And all of these minors, some as young as like 13, got life without the possibility of parole. There were some where they were trying to give them the death sentence.
Wow.
And the U.S. Supreme Court recently overturned that, saying that that is against the 8th Amendment, that it is cruel and unusual punishment for a minor. So a lot of them, you know, then filed paperwork for resentencing. So that was like looked at, and a lot of them were just basically commuted to life with possibility. Right. But some of them were like, you have 6 more years and then we will let you go. And
Insane.
So that was nice to see. Because some of it, it's like a 13-year-old isn't necessarily like a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah.
But this guy fucking was. And it was like for his girlfriend. Is that the one?
Yeah. It was on Kids Behind Bars or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I also have a book on that called Kill Grandma for Me. Huh. And she got her boyfriend to kill her grandparents.
Eric Smith. Eric Smith?
Maybe. Not my guy, but maybe your guy.
Is that's based on a true story as well? Veronica, that book?
Yeah, this is a true crime. So this is 15-year-old James Evans, 13-year-old lover Wendy, and yeah.
Yeah, Eric Smith. He was... No. Never mind. That's the wrong one. Take that out. Why can't I find that?
Was it in Alabama?
This Eric Smith kid looks like such a little nerd. I'd never guess.
Right. He was 13 when he killed someone. I don't know. I can't.
And it was the whole family?
Yeah. It's going to bother me until I can figure it out.
Also, you were mentioning the person who came up. I liked our guy Candyman, Tony Todd, popping up in that episode too.
Oh yeah.
Great performance from him. He popped up. Wow. I didn't know he was in this.
Yeah, he did really well and just wanted to spill his guts to Reed.
Yeah. He was the husband or ex-husband of one of the...
He was the ex-husband, and they thought it was him because that would fit a normal profile, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
He was just angry at the world, which is fair to find something safe.
It was Alabama.
Yeah, sure.
How did you know?
Did I say Alabama?
Right.
In the woods, right? Yeah, it was a kid in the woods. It
was 3 family members. No, it was at their home while 2 were in critical condition, but he attempted to kill all 5, and he was 14 years old.
What's his name?
It was... This is annoying. They don't name him in this. A 14-year-old confessed to shooting and killing an entire family in Alabama home late Monday night. His 5-year-old sister, 2 brothers who were 6 years old and 6 months old. His father... his father is John Sisk and Mary Sisk. His 35-year-old stepmother said... Yeah, but they don't list the kid's name.
Wait, was this recent?
Mason Sisk. This was 2022.
Dang, this was super
last
recent.
year, 2022.
Yeah.
Mason Sisk. There it is. What a journey we just went on to find this freaking thing. Golly. I need my tiny hands.
How old is he supposed to be? He looks
17.
old.
I think he's 17.
I don't like it.
Yeah, so family annihilators.
Yeah, they're rare, thank God, but...
It's interesting on... this one, how different it is compared to the family annihilators that are in the description of family annihilators. It's typically, like you said, one family, and this was several families.
Yeah, and then witnesses and random people for Onoprienko. Yeah, and usually it's their own families, not other people's families.
Right.
Which is why, this is our guy for this episode. But
his nicknames are terrifying. The Beast of Ukraine, the Terminator, Citizen O.
Yeah, the Citizen O one, I was like, what? Why?
Like Citizen Kane.
Oh.
But his last name's Onoprienko.
Yeah.
So No Prienko.
No.
Yeah, I saw something as well. I don't know if I was watching something on. It was said he would shoot at cars, he would just shoot his gun at cars or something. I saw that passing by.
Yeah,
sure.
This guy just
he just was angry at the world. Yeah, he just really wanted to kill people.
Yeah. Well, at the time frame in which it was happening, it was during
post World War II.
Yep. Exactly. During that with the, what is it called? Iron Curtain? I want to call it the steel something for some reason. In Ukraine, I have heard, correct me if I'm wrong, and some of the things that I have seen is that there is sort of a mentality of fight in men in the what's the word for it? Eastern European men. There it is. Boop! Yeah, there's that mentality of that in Eastern European men, and I'm wondering if that coupled with experience, coupled with entitlement, coupled with everything that was happening on in the world led him to feel like he had to do this.
Yeah.
I would agree with all that except the feel like he had to do this and change it to made him want to do this.
Yeah, poor choice of words, but yes, agreed.
Because I definitely do. I don't think it was a compulsion killing. Yeah, I think what we have seen, obviously gender roles in America are very rigid as well. And as they're loosening, though, we do see them even more rigid in other parts of the world where the macho thing is still very much intact. And Eastern Europe is definitely one of those places. And the studies are saying that a lot of these killings happen when the man feels his place in the family is threatened or has failed or broken in some way. Mm-hmm. So, and then that coupled with the rejection of his hero dad. His dad was, awarded medals for bravery in World War II. Definite inadequacy issues.
So, Onoprienko was arrested. He confessed to 52, And then what happened to him? Was he killed? I can't remember. Or was was he sentenced to life?
No, he was
Or did
sentenced.
he get the death
He was
penalty?
sentenced to the death penalty, but by the time it got through, they had gotten rid of it.
Oh, that's right. So it was commuted to life imprisonment.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
And he's still alive?
Yeah,
Question
still
mark?
alive.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's...
Oh, he's still alive? For some reason, in my mind, I thought I saw he died in prison. He's still alive. He's... Wow.
Yeah, he is
Yeah.
still alive.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
nuts. I think you had said earlier, too, he went from 0 to 8?
Yeah.
0? Wow.
What's crazy too to think is that the span of the crimes happened in less than 10 years for him,
Yeah.
from 89 to 96.
Jeez.
52 murders. What's that average?
I mean, that's
Yeah, I was about
right.
to ask what...
That's after
Can't do
the
that.
fall of the... That's after the fall
Yeah.
of the
He's a
Iron
theater
Curtain.
kid.
Because the Iron Curtain went down... The Berlin Wall came down
5.2
in 88.
murders a year. Ish. No.
Stacey, you want to Google when the Berlin Wall came down?
Yes.
5 a year. Pretty good number.
Ish. Yeah.
Ish. God, 0 to 8. He just dove.
He just dove right the fuck in.
You know, the
Go
balls
big or
on
go
him
home.
to just go.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. The Berlin Wall fell in 1989.
So it like literally...
November 9th. When was his first crime?
Yeah, is this actually because of the Berlin... We've cracked the case, you guys.
Yeah. We figured it out.
If democracy had not come through,
He did a lot in 96, though.
well, that would be the de-escalation that we usually see before they're caught.
Yeah, didn't do a ton from 89. Had a little bit of a slip and then popped back in 95. And then 96, 90, it was January to February of 96 is when he killed his most victims. Wild.
How strange. What a coincidence. Democracy takes hold, kills families, you know?
Yeah, damn.
True.
This guy's not messing around.
No.
Yeah, it was very weird. I would be interested to know what he did as a child because there's no way he went from shooting one deer to murdering 8 people.
Right.
In a foul swoop.
What didn't we see?
Yeah.
He was in an orphanage, lived in an orphanage for however long. I'm sure shit went down there, you know.
Because that's quite an escalation.
Yeah, did he have what was his like killing of choice? What was his like kind of MO?
His MO. One of them, he used an axe. I thought that was very Lizzie Borden of him. One was a knife, one was a gun. Like, it changed a lot.
Okay, so he wasn't like shoot everyone or axe everyone. He didn't have a
No.
specific. He was like, I'm just out here.
Killing.
I'm a killer.
Yeah, he was
I'm an all around kind of killer.
he was mostly a lighted on fire afterwards.
Right. That was
Like-
his. Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed to be his signature.
And he killed his victims differently, like, of the family members. Like, in one instance, he, like, killed the father with a gun
Yeah.
and then mauled the mom to death with a hammer and then set people to fire. Like, it was
Yeah.
chaotic. And
Well, because he would have to take out the threat, right? Which would be the man. So the easiest way is you quickly with a gun, get control of the situation that way. And then we see with the hammer, that kind of overkill, that kind of personalization, that kind of destruction of identity. Like, that's where his anger would have been, is on the mothers, which is then very strange because his mom died. You know, it wasn't like, unless he blamed her for leaving him and causing the situation. But a lot of times we see mothers who die become like saints, like, you know, like a little held on a pedestal for
Yeah.
unstable men.
It was almost like the opposite for him.
Yeah.
Then in that sense. Yeah. Yeah. That is weird.
Like, you'd think he would want to torture the father, although he probably didn't have the strength or the skill to, as opposed to the mother. Because, like, in the episode, we see he saves the father to the end so that the dad can see what he failed to save the family from, because he is punishing himself for not saving his, you know, quote unquote family. Or
Yeah.
quote
That was
unquote
very
saving.
dark. That was very dark watching that when he went into that. Also, how
Yeah.
did he fall for the oldest trick in the book when they showed the pictures?
changed foot.
They swapped them. Yeah, changed them. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. anyone who's watched any detective show knows they do that on
they do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So I read this, I read a lot of true crime books, and I read one by one of the beginner profiles, John Douglas. I talk about him all the time. It's just my forever campaign to get him on the show. And he said anyone can be gotten to, basically. Like, even him, as someone who teaches interrogation, who knows all the tricks, who knows what you do, if they find the right angle, they'll get him. It doesn't matter. And because at some point you do just break, it's too stressful to be on that side of the table that you break. So we could have been seeing that, or...
Yeah.
I was shocked that he was able to distinguish one disembodied foot from another.
Yeah. I think his kind of how he goes from like very calm to very angry, very stressed, how he kind of just changes levels so fast. That made it. That made up for like, oh, it's not him. He's not dumb. It's almost, he gets it. He just can't stand that they're doing. Yeah.
It's like he has to be in control. It's his little control thing.
Right.
I love their interrogation stuff when they show you like behind the curtain, because a lot of it is true. Like when they bring in the I don't think they've done it yet, but there's one where they're like, bring me boxes, fill them with paper. It doesn't have to say anything. Put his name on the side of it. And they bring in boxes and boxes with this guy. They're like, we've been watching you, blah, blah, blah. Like that is a legit tactic that people do. Like, it's really fun to see them do the interrogation portions. I think.
love it.
But that's really cool.
That's just me.
I want to know more about the interrogation stuff. I think that's I would want to know all of it, just so it's probably not going to happen, but you find yourself in this situation. I saw this on TV.
Yeah.
Show me what's in those papers.
Literally, I'd be like, open the boxes.
Yeah.
Let's go. Never ask for water. Don't ask for water. They can get your DNA from it and your fingerprints.
Huh.
Once you throw it out. That's why they also give it to you in plastic cups, because once you throw it out, it's trash, and they can test it with or without a warrant. Always immediately ask to talk to a lawyer. Don't say anything else. Ask for a lawyer.
Yeah, no matter if you're innocent, guilty, whatever, just ask for a lawyer.
Ask for a lawyer. What else are things I can tell you? My lawyer parents would always tell us. Never submit to a polygraph test. They're inadmissible in court. They're so unscientific, but once you fail it, that's it. The cops stop looking. They will get you for the crime. They're also easy to trick. Like, real sociopaths will never fail a polygraph. So they're useless things.
I think on an episode let's have Parnell back and let's all take like a lie detector test.
Okay. Parnell, this is it. You have to start practicing on how to beat them.
And see if we can beat them.
I'm in. Yeah,
and we have to get someone who can read. Like, that's the thing is, a degree is the wrong term, but you get certified that you can read these machines. And like, you're usually your machine.
And then you find someone.
Oh, you 100% could in Reno, for sure.
Yeah.
But then it's all about what that person reads your results as. So just like
there is a sense of subjectivity to it. It's
yes,
not,
absolutely.
Right,
and it's very much on how the questions are asked, what kinds of questions are asked, what the baseline questions were. Just like profiling, one profiler might give a different profile than someone else based on their experience, based on their knowledge. That's the exact same thing with a poly. And a polygraph is literally about like your heart rate. And so if you can just control your heart rate and your breathing, you don't have anything. Or if you don't think you can, if you can manipulate your heart rate to spike during your baseline questions, that's now your baseline, and it doesn't matter if you're lying or not.
Oh. So this is Veronica and Stacy Getting You Out of Crimes podcast.
The true How to Get Away with Murder.
I'm panicking. No. No.
Stacey's like, don't put this up, don't put this up, don't put this up. Yeah, no, I know a lot about stuff. My friend was killed in Reno, and it was at the college campus area, and he was like a serial rapist, and then Bree got killed, but they were asking all of the men.
I'm so like, sorry.
We're really like that. We're just skirting over this, like, my friend got killed thing.
you went, my friend got killed. And we're like, oh, we're so sorry. And you're like, yeah, he was a rapist. I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. How do we feel now?
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
Anyway, he was caught and he was sentenced to death. And Kristen was on his his appeal case, which was so weird. Mm-hmm. You'll eventually meet Kristen. She's on here all the time, Parnell. So they were asking all the men on campus if they would they were stopping everyone to submit to DNA to rule them out because they had this guy's DNA. So my friend Hunter was like, sure, why not? Like, his dad was a lawyer and now a judge. And he's like, of course. But, And his dad found out and marched down to the police department and was like, give me my son's DNA back. How dare you? And he was like, he got so mad at Hunter. He was like, never give the cops your DNA, never give them a reason. And it's just so funny how much lawyers, even though they work in the system, know that cops kind of get tunnel visioned and like can really railroad anybody.
Yeah.
Like and I'm really not anti-cop, and I know like a lot of people are anti-cop, and that's like the whole thing, and I'm not necessarily anti-cop. I'm anti-bad cop, you know, and I'm anti-super cop. Like why are they militarized? And I don't think that all cops should carry guns. Like I think the UK has a pretty good, where you have to be a certain level of cop to have that, you know, like, but I was so shocked that I heard, and I was like, oh, no one trusts the cops. We're not trusting cops as lawyers. Like we've really come away from where we were supposed to be. I don't know where that was going, but yeah. So never give them a reason. Always ask for a lawyer immediately.
Yeah, aren't cops taught those kind of tactics as well though too? Isn't that like actually part of the training? Like how to basically get admission of guilt or ways to kind of steer a conversation through that? That's insane.
Well, and like their favorite is, if you're innocent, why don't you want to help us to get you to talk? I would rather help you with a lawyer present. Literally just always say lawyer, because even though if you've said lawyer, if you start talking again, they can start talking to you again. So you'll see that a lot too. And that's why sometimes they'll stay in the room. Good cops will leave the room and just leave you. But there are some who are like, I bet I could push him. And then we get a lot of fake confessions, you know? Yeah. And then once you have a fake confession, it's like, why would you keep looking? He confessed. If he was innocent, he wouldn't confess. And that's so not true. Yeah. But yeah, so that's just ask for a lawyer. Just always ask for a lawyer.
And when in doubt, ask for a lawyer.
Is that how we're ending the episode?
I felt like that needed to be said. Like that's us ending the episode. When in doubt, ask for a lawyer. Give us a 5-star Google review. Ask for a lawyer. I don't know. It was just
great. Okay.
Yeah. I think that was probably Onoprienko's biggest fault. Is that he didn't lawyer up. Dude should have lawyered up, and you know he wouldn't be where he is today.
Yeah, he really just talked. They like. So maybe
that was I don't know how to laugh.
Are you pro crime, Parnell? Is that what this is? You're pro crime?
Yeah, you stuck it in me. I'm in my 30s now. This is me now. This is me.
Taking notes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I hadn't heard this term until you guys sent me kind of the pack here, and annihilator, family annihilator. I actually hadn't heard the term until just a few days.
Yeah, it's even in the study they were saying that they're not given their own category to be as murderers, and they should be, because they're very unique and specific.
Wait, they're not given how do you mean? Like they're not actually titled murderers? They're titled...
No, there are murderers, but they're usually just thrown in with every other murderer. When really they are a separate category of killer altogether. Yeah. Right. Like even from serial killer, they're not really a serial killer. They would be in a mass murder or a murder spree. Not Anatoly, obviously, he was a serial killer. It happened multiple times, but traditional family annihilators who just killed their own families would be a mass killer, because it's a lot of people in one thing. Yeah. So
I think it sucks that they gave him the coolest villain name, the Annihilator. That's
right.
They should, don't do that.
Don't make him cool.
Maybe we'll get less of them.
Good point.
What should they be called? The family losers.
Take your awayers.
Yeah.
It's a shitty name.
Yeah. Suck, right? Give them the shittiest name. Give them the shittiest name.
Correct. See? Wow.
I'm just thinking about your iron deficiency, Stacy.
I'm thinking about it too all the time, clearly.
It's going to live rent-free in my head forever.
Here's my challenge to you guys. Think of a shittier name, a real shitty name. So your next person is like, let's change it. Let's change kind of, the goalposts. Yeah. And
okay. We have two things. We need shittier name than family annihilator. And Stacy, what did you want?
I forgot.
I did too.
It's fine. That's it. Just the one challenge.
It was something.
Poly.
The polygraph test. I want us to do a polygraph test.
Beating the poly.
Okay. Yep. So if anyone is a polygraph reader,
write into us.
Let us know. Okay.
I don't know a single. I'll find one. Sure, you can.
That is your challenge, Parnell.
You can like Craigslist this, right? I'm sure you can find poly guys.
Probably. Okay. Like, subscribe, download, leave us good reviews only. Don't laugh at me. I've been practicing. Send us the bad reviews. DM it. We don't like to air our dirty laundry. And join us next week. It's going to be more chaotic serial killer bullshit. I mean, it's not going to be.